welcome to another video episode of my podcast. My name is Cheryl, and this is Cappuccino Crafts, my little channel on YouTube and my corner of the general interwebs where I like to talk about knitting, although that hasn't been going on recently, and a lot of books and sometimes TV or movies and other life and chatty things that I want to share with you. So thank you very much for choosing to watch this video and spend a little bit of your time with me. I really hope that you enjoy it. Please settle in, get yourself a delicious beverage, and let's enjoy a lovely visit. So, today is a holiday in the United States. It is President's Day. It is, celebrates American presidents. It is very close to the birthday of the first president of the United States, George Washington. But they move the date around a little bit to always be on a Monday because long weekends. Everybody wants the long weekend. So it's not always on the exact day of George Washington's birthday. But there you are. So this is a holiday weekend and I have been enjoying it. I finished this week 2 books that I've been going for a while. So there will be new books in the lineup. I have been preparing. But I finished House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. And my final thoughts. My final thoughts on House of Leaves are that it was a wild ride. It was a fun puzzle. And it was... Now, the hype about this book is some people call it the scariest book that they've ever read. And I do believe this is very definitely in the horror category. I think it is good to describe it as a horror book. For me, it was not like the ultimate most scary thing ever. But you know, that is so personal. That's the thing about a horror, is that it is so personal. The things that scare you, the things that get under your skin, that wiggle into your brain, they are different. And this book does get into your head on purpose. It messes with you and it does get into your head. It is atmospheric. It is creepy, very, very creepy. And I was scared. But you could also call this a postmodern literary book. I think it is literary horror for sure. It's definitely postmodern. And I actually looked up this week the definition of postmodern, because you hear that word and you're not really sure exactly what it means, but it sounds kind of like what it describes. Anyway, so I actually looked it up so that I could have a real idea of what postmodern literature is, and this is definitely postmodern. Postmodern literature plays with non-linear story structure. It features unreliable narrators. It mixes true events from history or things from the real world and fiction. It usually also references other fictional works. It's usually very meta that way, retelling or mixing in elements from other literature or having very heavy references to other stories. So this is definitely postmodern. It fits all of those things. And I think it is kind of brilliant. Yeah, it is like a maze. It is a labyrinth. You can get lost, and you can get as lost as you want. Or you can just wander just a little bit. There are definitely rabbit holes and research that you can fall into as deep as you want. There are levels and different codes and secret Easter eggs in the book. You can go after all of them. You can, look at them with a little side eye and move on. Or you can, delve a little bit, but in that way, the experience of this book is definitely very individual. You are definitely participating with the author in creating this experience and discovering the meaning and making your own meaning. I think every reader will find there are definite themes that are kind of obvious themes, but there are also meanings and things that you can find in this book that won't appear to everyone. It's a little bit like a Rorschach ink blot test where, you see a reflection of your own mind and your own psyche. The reason I think I would say it's a little bit brilliant is if you really don't want to go that far and engage super deeply, there is a story on the surface that you can just kind of take at face value and enjoy enough. So you can have a story and an experience even if you don't want to just deep dive. And there's more if you want to dive a little bit or if you want to dive really, really deep. Now, I will say the payoff for the super deep dive is not necessarily there. Or if you just love doing the deep dive, that could be enough of a payoff for you. But he does not give answers. There is not a final solution. There is no aha moment where everything comes together and you're like, that's what it all means. You're not going to find that. In a way, it's great because whatever you want the ending to be, whatever interpretation really means something to you, you can have that because it's not invalidated by the text. But if you want your reward to be some like all-encompassing meaning or a solution, you're not going to get that satisfaction. Yeah. And I ended up not needing a second notebook. Because once you get to a certain point, the last several chapters, I found myself not really wanting to take notes on them. And for me, the last few chapters just kind of flew by pretty fast. And for me, felt a little bit like a anticlimax. Now, the way this story is, I'm really not sure how a really brilliant ending would even be. So I'm not going to say it's a bad ending. It just kind of feels like it ends with a whimper instead of a bang. And I have that list in the back of my notebook of possible theories and possible interpretations. And I think I have one or two favorites, but I'm not even making myself choose between the one or two. It's kind of nice to entertain and look at it from different angles. And I'm like, well, if I think about it this way, I can see this. And if I interpret it a different way, I can see this. And that works for me. Now, I know that frustrates a lot of people. That does not appeal to everyone. The other book that I finished is Honeycomb, and no surprise, I loved it. And I thought the ending of this was great. I thought the kind of interconnected threads and the story arc for, I think there is one character that you could call the main character, and I thought that character's story arc ended very appropriately. I was really satisfied, and I just love this whole experience. And I'm really, really happy that I did take the plunge and buy the book. I think it was definitely one that I really want to have in my personal collection. So those were the finishes. And I have been continuing reading some essays in Late Migrations. I am still enjoying that. I'm not feeling in a rush to hurry through it. I just kind of like picking it up and dipping in and coming back to it here and there. Also, I started a book. I have a NetGalley arc, and I will expire in 33 days, which is plenty of time to finish it, but I didn't want to leave it until the last 5 days and be like, because there are some other books that I plan to start soon. And I just don't want to run out of time. So I was approved for the NetGalley digital arc of Electra by Jennifer Saint, and I started it this week, and it's starting really strong. I'm already very engaged, and I love the prose. I've always been intrigued by the story of Electra and her family drama. It's a really messed up family and a super toxic family drama. And we are getting multiple points of view from several of the women in this drama. And I like multi-POV, and I'm enjoying how the points of view work together. So, a great start to Electra by Jennifer Saint. Also, I will be starting soon, I think any day, I will be getting a hold available from my library that I'm going to buddy read. The Things They Carry. I think that's the title of it. It might be a little different. I'll look it up and I'll correct it when I come back to edit if I was wrong. Also, I plan to start any day the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I'm really excited to pick that series back up. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you, your family, all your loved ones are well, and that you are enjoying whatever you're reading and any creative projects that you're working on. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.